What's it like to be known as the fastest, most accurate pistol shooter alive? Only one man knows for sure. Rob Latham of Mesa, Arizona. Today, he's putting that reputation on the line because as this exciting four-stage pistol competition unfolds, he'll be challenged by more than 200 of the best pistol shooters in the world, all competing for $150,000 in cash and prizes as the 1985 National Rifle Association's Bianchi Cup gets underway. From the Ray Chapman Academy in Columbia, Missouri, hello, everybody. I'm Tom Kelly with Lenny McGill, and today we'll be calling the action of the 1985 N.R.A. Bianchi Cup.
Thanks, Tom. It's good to be back. This is the 7th consecutive year for this competition, and this year, the N.R.A. has designated it the National Action Shooting Pistol Championship. The pistol shooting sports are becoming more and more popular, and as you'd expect, the competition is really heating up.
If the practice scores we've been seeing are any indication, we're in for a record-setting tournament.
The N.R.A. Bianchi Cup competition consists of 4 different matches, each with their own time limitations and difficulties to make the shooting more competitive.
Match 1 is the Action Arms, Action Ammo International Rapid Fire event. Here, shooters fire 5 shots at 5 separate targets from a distance of 25 meters. Match 2 is the TASCO Barricade event, where competitors test their ability to shoot from behind a standing obstacle. Match 3 is the AIMPOINT moving target event, where shooters engage a target moving across the range at 10 feet per second. And Match 4 is the Winchester falling plate event, where competitors fire at a series of 8-inch knockdown steel plates.
Now, in order to win the overall competition, shooters score points based on the placement of their shots fired within the allocated time limits. Each round fired has a maximum value of 10 points when placed in this 8-inch circle.
All shots outside this circle score either 8 points or 5 points, with a complete target miss scored as 0. Because there are 204 rounds altogether, the maximum score possible is 2,040 points.
The 2 additional matches we'll be covering today include the CCI 22 caliber RIMFIRE event, where shooters fire at 1/3 size steel targets, and the COLT speed event, where the top 20 finalists of the regular competition shoot for all-out speed at 5 knockdown steel targets.
Coming up, we'll see the very best in this up-and-coming sport compete for first prize, where Tom Campbell is shooting from the 10-yard position.
At this distance, shooters are required to fire 6 rounds in 5 seconds.
Each barricade measures 6 feet high by 3 feet wide. Shooters fire 6 rounds from each side and then move back to the next position. The time allocated to shoot is increased the further away the competitors are from the target.
At 15 yards, shooters fire 6 rounds in 6 seconds. At 25 yards, 7 seconds. And at 35 yards, 8 seconds. A total of 48 rounds altogether. Campbell is shooting very well. He's got 12 10s with 11 X's.
We've got a break in the action here at the barricades, so let's check in at the Winchester falling plate event with JOAN Hall.
JOAN is a former Dallas Cowboys cheerleader who is making quite a name for herself in the pistol shooting sports. She's only been shooting competitively for 2 years, and already she's won the Women's U.S. National Championship.
In this match, each plate measures 8 inches in diameter, with a knockdown scoring 10 points and a miss scoring 0.
Earlier, I asked JOAN about the competition involved in the pistol shooting sports.
As far as a competitive, you compete against other people, but you're also competing against yourself and your prior scores. And so it's just a never-ending competition for perfection. Plates are really, they can psych you out because you're just looking at, an 8-inch plate. You don't have paper. So if you throw something, you're not going to get anything for it, like an 8 or a 5 points. It's all or nothing. So you get 10 points, you get nothing. And that can really psych you out. So you really just have to concentrate on center of the target, your sights on the center of the target, and take each shot as itself.
Back at the barricades, Tom Campbell completed his run with 471 points and 30 X's. Up next is Bill Rogers now at the 15-yard position.
Rogers is a holster manufacturer by trade and is recognized to be one of the more consistent shooters on the circuit. Here's his first run.
Bill Rogers is really shooting well. 6 rounds, 6 X's.
Rogers is shooting a .38 caliber Smith & Wesson Model 10 revolver coming out of one of his own holsters. In this type of competition, revolvers, as opposed to semi-automatic pistols, enable the shooters to maintain a more consistent sight picture because of the reduced recoil.
Bill Rogers is shooting perfect up to now, so as they're moving back to the 25-yard position, let's check in at the Aimpoint moving target event with Mike Dalton at the 10-yard position.
Dalton is a member of the ISI shooting team from Los Angeles, California. Here's his first run, 6 rounds in 6 seconds.
If you're wondering what it takes to shoot an event like this, Mike Dalton explained in an earlier interview.
Well, the moving target, the key thing with that is to keep tracking and flowing with the mover rather than doing any kind of jerky motions with it. And that's the real key to it. And establishing your lead points. On the moving target, we can't hold where we want to hit because of the speed of the bullet is falling behind the target. So we actually have to hold in another place, and then the bullet will strike in the correct place. The faster the bullet travels, the less lead you have to put on the target. Like I shoot two different loads on the moving target. I shoot a hotter load at the 25-yard line to get the bullet there a little quicker so I don't have to hold so far ahead of the target.
Looking back at that run in slow motion, you can see the intensity and concentration Dalton has developed. As he said, once he acquires a stable sight picture, it's just a matter of a smooth trigger pull and follow-through.
Now back to live action at the CCI 22 caliber rimfire event with J. Michael PLAXCO.
In this event, shooters use 22 caliber pistols and fire 6 rounds to knock down 5 steel plates. The score is based on the total time it takes to shoot in each of the 4 positions. The lowest time wins, and each missed plate adds a 5-second penalty.
The scores in this match won't figure in the regular competition, so the competitors have a chance to relax and go all out. Back at the Tasco Barricade event, here's another member of the ISI shooting team, Jim Zubiana.
Zubiana is an actor in Hollywood and has appeared in numerous network programs, including Miami Vice. Notice his rather unique shooting position.
The reason I knelt is because the barricades move too much. Top of the barricade goes this much. Middle of the barricade goes half that. Bottom of the barricade goes less than that. So I figured my chances of having a less than vibrant barricade would be to go low. So I practiced it this morning and it worked fine. I concentrate on getting the alignment of my lens proper so that when I look at the target, I can see exactly where I want to shoot. And then when the horn goes, I grab the gun and I come up and I bring the dot to that spot. And I try and keep the dot on the spot and squeeze the trigger. Because the whole ticket to this match is put the dot in the spot and squeeze the trigger. If you can do those 2 things, you'll never be beat.
Jim Zubiana completes the barricades with 460 points and 24 X's. Next up is Rob Latham and John Shaw.
Latham now reigns as the best competition pistol shooter in the world, though he has yet to win the N.R.A. Bianchi Cup. Here he is at 25 yards.
That's an excellent run. 6 shots, all in the 10 circle.
Rob is also from Mesa, Arizona, where the weather allows year-round practice. He's also shooting a .38 caliber Smith & Wesson Model 10 revolver with an Aimpoint sight.
So far, only Bill Rogers has cleaned this event, which means he scored 10 points for each of his 48 rounds fired. A total of 480 points plus 33 X's.
Now, the X's are scored only when the shots are placed in the inner circle and are used to determine a winner in case of a point tie.
Latham is really on. If he scores 6 10s on this next run, he'll clean this event and could place ahead of Bill Rogers.
Well, he's got to score 2 X's in order to go into first place.
Rob Latham does it, cleaning the Tasco Barricade event with 480 points plus 38 X's, which places him first in the current overall standing. Second place belongs to Bill Rogers with 480 points and 33 X's. Third place, Jason Cole with 478 points and 31 X's. And fourth place to John Farley 478 points, and 30 X's. Coming up, the Action Arms, Action Ammo International Rapid Fire Event.
And this year, because I had a problem last year, I took the muzzle brake off, which was an extension. I made the gun shorter. It's more efficient now, so doing a little bit better. Also, this year I switched over from the AIMPOINT. I'm using the new Toscaramo illumination scope, and it's doing quite well. I only had a couple of weeks to practice with it, but I was quite satisfied with it. It helped me on that rapid fire. That's the one that's going to flush a lot of people down the toilet, I'm afraid. The 8-second and the 6-second runs are quite easy. It's like shooting plates, but you get into 4 seconds, you don't have room to think and go pick up the gun. Everything has to be so instinctive, and you can't miss the draw, and you just want to hit that target.
Now let's switch over to the AIMPOINT moving target event with Brian Enos, reigning champion of the overall cup competition for the last 2 years.
Enos is also from Mesa, Arizona, where he's friends and practice partners with Rob Latham. Here he is at 10 yards.
If anybody has mastered the moving target event, it's Brian Enos.
Taking a look at that last run in slow motion, you can see Enos demonstrating perfect form, never taking his eye off the target, patiently waiting to acquire a solid sight picture before squeezing off the first round, and following through with a smooth, fluid motion.
Back to live action at the Tasco Barricade event. Here's the top woman pistol shooter in the world, Lee Cole.
Lee's been shooting competitively for 4 years, though she told me she's just starting to feel comfortable shooting in front of a crowd. Earlier, I asked about her technique here at the Barricade event.
Just on the Barricade, both arms will be bent pretty severely, and that's a little unusual. And I usually try to bring it up to about shoulder high. And that's a little different than when I'm using an AIMPOINT. And so that I'm looking directly into the AIMPOINT. 2 weeks before, we practice pretty intently. I'll shoot 200 to 300 rounds a day, and maybe 500 to 600 a day on the weekends.
Lee Cole completes this event with 474 points and 29 X's. A look at the current scoreboard shows Rob Latham in front by just 13 points. His teammate Brian Enos in second place with 1,541 points and 101 X's. Tom Campbell is in third place, and Frank Glenn fourth. In just a moment, we'll pick up the action of the Winchester Falling Plate event when we return to the 1985 N.R.A.
And is a foreign correspondent for several Japanese gun magazines.
In this event, competitors fired 2 sets of 6 rounds at 6 8-inch steel plates from 10, 15, 20, and 25 yards in 6, 7, 8, and 9 seconds, respectively. A knockdown score is 10 points. A miss, 0.
The shooters have become so skilled that many of them are easily cleaning the first 48 plates. So, all plates after the first 48 score as an X, but the times in which to shoot are shortened in order to make it more difficult.
Now, let's switch over to the AIMPOINT moving target event with our current leader, Rob Latham.
Latham almost has this year's N.R.A. Bianchi Cup in the bag. He's got to remain consistent, be careful not to yank the trigger, and keep his shots in the 10 circle.
Latham is just 36 rounds away from being this year's winner. While he moves to the next position, let's check back to the Winchester Falling Plate event. Ichiro Nagata went on to knock down an additional 91 plates for a score of 480 points and 139 X's. That places him first in this event at this time. Shooting now is Bill Rogers.
Rogers has already cleaned the first 48 plates and is now shooting for X's.
Bill Rogers does it. That perfect run puts him in first place at this time.
Back at the AIMPOINT moving target event, Rob Latham is shooting flawlessly. Here he is at 25 yards. Unless he misses the target completely, he'll win the overall cup.
Over at the falling plates, the time to shoot is now down to 4 seconds for 6 plates at 15 yards.
Bill Rogers finally misses, but not before taking control of first place and setting a new record at the falling plate event, 480 points with 155 X's. Now here's Rob Latham at his final run.
Latham completes the AIMPOINT moving target event with a near-perfect 478 points and 36 X's. This puts him clearly in the lead as the overall winner of the 1985 N.R.A. Bianchi Cup. Second place goes to Tom Campbell. Third place, Brian Enos. Fourth, Ross Carter. And fifth, John Schatzel. Coming up, the exciting action of the COLT event when the 1985 N.R.A. Bianchi Cup continues.
At 5 knockdown steel targets, placed 10 yards downrange. The time clock starts with the tone and is electronically stopped as the last plate is hit.
To win the COLT speed event, competitors shoot against one another in the best-of-5 series. The fastest time wins. And of course, if a plate is left standing, the shooter loses that run.
Also, Tom, we should mention that the winner of this event takes home an additional $2,500 in cash. Not bad for an afternoon's work.
Oh, not bad at all. Now let's join our first match already in progress between Brian Enos and Rob Latham. Latham scores an incredible 2.08 seconds and takes this first run.
Looking at that run in slow motion, keep in mind that the 2.08 seconds includes the draw from the surrender position and the 5 shots.
Back to live action. Latham leads 1-0.
Enos misses again, with Latham scoring 2.32 seconds. It's now 2-0.
Rangers clear, set them up. Ready.
Rob Latham takes it with a time of 2.80 seconds. He moves into the finals against John Shaw.
Latham just produced some of the fastest times of the day. He may be unbeatable.
He may have pushed it a little bit too hard that time. Latham's miss allows Shaw to take that first run with a time of 2.47 seconds.
Shooters, stand by. Ready.
Shaw's really relying on basic shooting skills here. He takes that run with 2.61 seconds and now leads 2-0.
Ready.
John Shaw takes it with a time of 2.4 seconds. He's the winner of the 1985 COLT speed event. Now, let's switch down to the field with Lenny McGill for an interview with our winners, Rob Latham and John Shaw.
Should you hose it down or what? And a lot of people try to hose it down. And I said, well, you know, you can't do that every time. And I played my own game and shooting against man, and that paid off.